Hello everybody and welcome to this macroeconomic video on consumption and the factors affecting consumption. So firstly, what is consumption? Well, consumption is household expenditure. So how much families in households and individuals in households spend, how much spending occurs. So consumption is essentially spending. And consumption is part of our aggregate demand formula. AD equals C plus I plus blah 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 blah. It's the C part of our formula. So firstly, our main factor affecting consumption is income. And as it says there, this is the most influential factor affecting consumption. So if income increases, if people are getting more money, they have an increased wage, they are earning more money, then they have more money to spend, therefore they will buy more goods. So therefore consumption increases because their spending is increased. And therefore if consumption increases, aggregate demand will also increase. Next, we have consumer confidence and economic expectations. So if consumer confidence is high, consumers are confident about spending their money, and expectations of the economy in the future are positive, then in the future consumer confidence will also be high, it will be good. Then consumers are more likely to spend, so if they spend more, then consumption will increase. An example of this would be if, for example, the business I was in went into administration and they were losing lots of money, then there is a possibility I may lose my job in the next few weeks. So therefore my consumer confidence would be low. I wouldn't be spending lots of money, I'd in fact be saving it just in case I lost my job. So therefore I would be consuming less. Next we have inflation. Now if inflation is incredibly high, so for example if the inflation rate is 5%, and my wage is only going up every year at 3%, then overall I'm actually experiencing a minus 2% decrease in my wage. I'm experiencing a minus 2% decrease in income. So if my income is low, then I don't have as much money to spend, therefore I don't spend as much, therefore consumption will fall. And this is all because of high inflation, inflation being greater than my wage increase. So overall I experience a decreasing real, adjusted to inflation, wage. Next we have interest rates. If interest rates are low, then the cost of borrowing is low, so therefore I will borrow more money, I have more money to spend, I will spend that money, therefore consumption increases. Also if the cost of borrowing is low, then the reward from saving is low. I get a low amount of interest back on when I save my money. So therefore I won't save my money, I will spend it instead. So therefore my spending increases and my consumption increases. And the opposite happens if you have high interest rates. It's expensive to borrow money, the cost of borrowing money is high, therefore people don't borrow, they don't have as much money to spend, consumption isn't as high. Also if the interest rate is high, then there is a high reward from borrowing, you get more interest back on the money you save, therefore I'm more likely to save my money in the banks to get that interest on it, therefore I won't spend it, therefore my consumption isn't as high. And next we have this idea of the wealth effect. So, if I have lots of physical goods around me, one example being my house, which is worth a lot of money, then I know that even if I lose my job, I can still carry on spending the amount I'm spending because I can just sell off these physical goods. I could sell my TV, I could sell my computer, something like that. So if I have a high value of wealth, then I will consume more and spend more because I know that if for whatever reason my income drops, I can sell this wealth to carry on spending just as much. A main part of the wealth effect is house prices. If my mortgage, say, is worth £120,000, but my house is only worth £110,000, then I'm in a situation known as negative equity. So if I were to lose my job tomorrow and for whatever reason can't pay my mortgage off, then even if I sold my house, I would still have £10,000 of mortgage to pay off. So if anybody is ever in negative equity, they tend to save money, just in case they can't pay their mortgage back, so they can sell the house and will have that saved money to pay off the rest of their mortgage. But if people are in positive equity, then the value of their house is worth more than their mortgage. So for example, my house might be worth £150,000, but my mortgage only £130,000. And in this case, I know that if I lose my job tomorrow, then and I can't pay back my mortgage anymore through that, then I can sell my house and still pay off my mortgage, and in fact I'll even still have £20,000 left over. So therefore, I can carry on spending, I'll consume more. So if individuals are in negative equity, then their wealth is lower, so they will consume less. If they're in positive equity, their wealth is higher, so therefore they will consume more.